Alright guys, let's go over the brand new crafting system, the tempering, as well as briefly over the masterworking. So, what does this do? This will add more stats on an item. The one thing that's important is in Season 4 and the PTR right now, you only want to modify legendary items. So legendary items will have 3 rolls, while the other items, the rare items, will have 2. So basically what this means is you do not want to mess with rare items at all as far as modifying them. You only want to touch the legendary ones. So the reason why is because you will be missing out on a stat, and that stat can actually roll higher with the new rolls that you can get, and I'll show you guys kind of how that works with this one over here with a little star on the maximum life. These all can be tempered, okay? So starting right off, we're going to go ahead and do a ring, and let me move my face out of the way here so you guys can see it. So on this ring over here, it rolled normally with 3 rolls, which was life per hit, damage, resource cost. The tempered, the little anvil symbol, that's what has been tempered onto the item, basically rolling some newer stuff on the item. Now these over here, you cannot you cannot enchant into a new affix for that special roll. You'll see that this item over here, when it drops, it has this Roman numeral 1, and you can actually happen to get all of those rolls to roll. Basically, think of this as like an ancient item, but only on that one roll, which is 1.5 times higher, which when you go ahead and masterwork it, you can actually have all these numbers increase to crazy numbers, all right? So let's go ahead and again show off the system on tempering now that we kind of understand what can be tempered. So starting right off, you're going to get these recipes, and you'll just right click them and you just learn the new thing. So I'm going to do a ring over here, and we're going to go ahead and throw it in. So this one again has already been tempered 2 times, and I got the things that I want on it. Sure, I could get a better roll in damage, but I'm happy with this. We're going to use this one over here. You can see it has 3 rolls on it, which is int, vulnerable, and lucky hit. If I put it in here, that won't modify any of those. That would be enchanting, and I'll go over enchanting in a second because there are other things that have been updated with the new way that items work. So starting right off, we put the item in here, and you'll see that there are offensive stats that we can put on, and there's also resource. Now, I only have a few right now, so it's fine. These are the exact ones that I want anyways. So we just want some sort of damage on this one. So out of these 4, it's going to randomly roll on one of these. I don't have really control over it, and I could re-roll it multiple times, but you can't roll from the same family. However, if the item already has the stat from that roll, and I'll show you an example in a second, you can still temper and get another one of the same roll on it, but you cannot temper into 2 of the same rolls. I know it sounds strange. I'll explain in a second. But we're going to go ahead and put it in here, and I'm going to go ahead and temper the item. And so we have 2 tempers on the item that can roll on it. So this little animation here, you can skip it. I'll show you guys the first one. Now this is plus 80 damage to distance enemies. That's a pretty crazy roll. That's not too bad. I'll keep it for now because the most important thing is for this, on the resource, I'm really looking for that resource cost reduction. So that's the one I want to hit. So I might want to roll this more than once. So I'm going to roll this, and I'm going to show you guys as an example kind of what happens here. So we're going to temper it. After this, though, I'm going to remove doing it again and again as far as the animation goes. So you can see now I got resource cost reduction. Now, let's say I want to hit that 10. I want that perfect one. I would go here, and I would hit it again, and I would do this. Now, there is something important. It has temper rerolls 5. So we only have 5 shots at doing this. After that, as far as I'm aware of, there is no reroll like temper like durability. Think of it if you play Last Epoch like crafting durability. So I'm going to reroll this again. I'm just going to hit skip, and we got 8.5. So sure, that's better. But you'll see now, if I do this again, I only have 4 rerolls. So let's say I didn't want this stat where it's, what is it, damage to distance. Some of these will roll higher. Like the damage to distance is basically doubled. So that is pretty big. But I actually have like not too bad of a roll over here. So if I want to keep it, sure, I can keep it. It's not that big of a deal. So this is the basics over here. Now there's also something called masterworking, which also requires materials specifically from the pit, as well as there's other ways to get it, I guess. But this is abductite. This is a new crafting material that is earned from the pit, and it will give you masterwork. So how a masterwork works on an item. If you guys remember, like where you go to the blacksmith and just upgrade, and you would get like the 5 out of 5, right? Instead, now you can go up to 12, and this is going to give you all the affixes will get increased by 5%. Then one of them randomly just jumps up every 4 times. So that means there's 3 times where one of the rolls that can happen multiple times on the same affix can go even further. So let's say it goes to 22% damage and we go to 1 out of... one out of the 12 ranks on this. Like I upgrade it 1 time with these materials here. This would give it maybe 23, 24. Like it'll go up small, and then it can jump up to, like, let's say at the next tier of the masterwork, instead of it being like 25 and it goes to 26, it can jump up to like 50, or it can go crazy numbers, but it's random on this. So that's how the masterworking works. Now, certain things have moved over here. So this is at the blacksmith. And the jeweler is now next to the blacksmith, and the occultist is actually nearby. And I'll show you guys enchanting, which isn't really too much different, but I will go over some of the newer updates. Another thing that's important that I wanted to explain, where I said that you cannot temper into you can't double temper into a roll. What you can do, however, that is actually pretty big, and I have it on this amulet. So this amulet rolled with movement speed, but you can temper movement speed on it. You cannot roll 2 tempered movement speeds on the item. It basically just rolls with 1 in each of the family, if that makes any sense. So if you're looking for, like, if I was to throw this in here, and then I'll move my face out of the way again. So if I was to temper this again, and I want like 2 mobilities over here, right? You can see that it will re-roll. Right now I have 8.5. If I was to throw this on again, I'm just going to skip out on all the animations. This one now rolled with 11. But it won't give me 2 rolls of temper movement speed because they are in its own category. Or what I like to call a family, because it was kind of a term that we used in like Immortal. But nonetheless, this is kind of how the tempered system, brand new crafting system works. But there's another thing that I want to go over, which is also important. Because I'm not done with showing you guys how to kind of craft the weapons or item. So over here, let's say I don't really like that life per hit. I don't need it. Let's go ahead and go down over here to the occultist, and we are going to now roll that off. So we can go to enchant, and what's cool with this newest update in season 4, and we can throw this in over here, and you can see where it says life per hit. Let's say I don't want that anymore. I don't want life per hit. So I can now go ahead and enchant that and get something completely different. But now with this, I can see exactly what we can roll on it. So what would I want on this? Well, there's a lucky hit chance, there's crit strike chance, attack speed. These are both pretty good rolls. There's mana on kill, another great roll. So I'm just going to just roll off the life, and this will make it bound to us. We can now trade legendary items. This is another newer update. Int is a little bit better, but let's say I want to roll it again. And again, this isn't really too much different than what we've already had. Let's say I want life, we can go for life. But if I want to throw on an imprint here with the Codex of Power, I can go ahead and just throw it in. So let's say I did not want, like right now, what does this one have over here? Crackling energy. I don't use crackling energy anymore. The new system lets you just go ahead and throw it in. Let me go throw it in the item. And then I just click on Codex of Power, and each one of these is sorted by a category. So this is massive. This is a huge quality of life update. I can type in exactly what I want, and it will give me, like I kind of want Umbral right now because I want to get as much resource as possible. But this is really cool. It's such a nice quality of life feature. If I want like extra mana, well, I can go ahead and see what's giving us mana over here. So, or what has that keyword of mana. So this one over here, let's say, where was, I think it was Umbral here. Let's type in the word Umbral and see if we have it. Aspect of the Umbral. There we go. So this one just restores resource versus mana. So there's certain key tags, like mana is considered a primary resource anyway. So let's say I wanted this because, well, I'm going to be chilling everything and I want this. Okay, just throw it on. And now our item is almost finished. At this point, we would then masterwork it, but I don't have any of the crafting material because that requires you to do the pit. But that is the introduction and the video of the new crafting system. However, there's one more last thing. All I need to do, if I want to get the newer like aspect roll on it, if I just salvage it, boom, it's just going to add that brand new thing to our Codex of Power. So it's really simple. And this quality of life is amazing. So that's it for the new crafting system and how to temper, masterwork, as well as how some of the rules work with it. But what do you guys think of the new update? I think this is an absolute banger. It's so amazing. I'm really looking forward to Season 4. But that's the introduction to the brand new crafting systems in the game. If you guys enjoyed the video, though, drop a like on it if you're new here and do want to be up to date on more Diablo stuff. Hit subscribe, turn that bell, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Diablo 4, Season 4 is going to be amazing.